Something major is happening today. Trump's own voters are turning against him in ways we have not seen before, ways we have not seen in the first term, and ways we have not seen until now in this second term. His own voters are furious at him, thinking that he is more focused on Great Gatsby themed parties than he is on helping the economy and helping those, especially the most vulnerable in America's society, to ensure that they can afford the cost of groceries, the cost of living, and even be able to have access to basic benefits like SNAP and other food assistance. So today, a new CNN poll came out that showed that Donald Trump's approval rating is now down to just 37%. His disapproval rating is up to 63%. That's the highest it's ever been. Just for perspective, back on January 6, 2021, CNN's poll had Donald Trump at 62% disapproval on the day of the January 6th insurrection. Years later, he's now at 63% disapproval, and it's climbing. And while real stories from on-the-ground people demonstrate that this disapproval is real, because it's impacting Republicans, Democrats, and independents across America. A new NBC News report where reporters interviewed a woman named Hannah Stretzer. She's a 26-year-old Buffalo area resident. She says that she had type 1 diabetes since she was 10 years old. She now has a mental health disorder that prevents her from working. The $300 she receives from SNAP benefits each month is essentially a livelihood. It ensures that she can maintain her blood sugar levels. She told NBC, quote, "I need these benefits for my food. If I don't get the food, I won't be able to control my numbers. If you don't get it taken care of, you can lose toes or limbs or could go blind." She said it's scary. Hannah is one of more than 40 million Americans who rely on SNAP benefits every single month to ensure that they can afford to live. Hannah's mom, Betty, 63 years old, she's a recent retiree and a caretaker for her daughter. She is a longtime supporter of Donald Trump. Now she is losing confidence in the president. She told NBC News, quote, "I think deep down he wants to help the country with things like food insecurity. But now he is busy out of the country and demolishing the White House. I know that this is being paid for with private funds, but those could be used to help people. It all seems very selfish." She now says that she regrets voting for Donald Trump in 2024, would prefer a Democrat in the White House because, quote, "to protect benefits he," referring to Donald Trump, "wants to cut." This is real. And we're seeing more and more Trump supporters turn on him. Because right now, the United States government is in day 33 of a government shutdown. And while Donald Trump argues that the United States economy is doing great because the stock market is doing great, it really is a testament to how poorly the United States economy actually is doing when the stock market is hitting record high and people like Hannah can't afford to maintain her blood sugar levels because she can't receive the SNAP benefits that she is entitled to, that she deserves, that she is eligible for, because those in Washington, D.C. don't want to figure out a way to reopen the federal government. And this comes on the heels of a major election tomorrow, where voters across the country are going to the voting booths in places like California, New Jersey, Virginia, New York, Pennsylvania, and elsewhere. And I guarantee you they are going to make their voices heard, not in support of the president's policies, but against what he stands for in Washington, D.C. Because a 63% disapproval rating will translate down ballot. It will translate to races like Virginia's gubernatorial, where Abigail Spanberger is expected to sweep against Winsome Sears. It will translate to even lower down ballot races in Virginia, like the lieutenant governor's race, or truly even the attorney general's race, where the Democratic challenger, Jay Jones, has been under significant fire for text messages he sent. And well, even with that major scandal, polling shows that because of how unpopular Donald Trump and the Republican agenda is, even Jones may pull it out. Looking to New Jersey, New York City, California, across the board, you see Americans coming out in droves. Early voting numbers are hitting record rates across the country because people want to make their voices heard. They're tired of what they're seeing in Washington, D.C. right now. And it translates to the polling, it translates to Donald Trump's approval ratings, and it also translates to actual real on the ground stories that many are facing right now. Now, today, Donald Trump and the Trump administration did agree to pay out partial SNAP benefits for the month of November, but only after a federal judge said that Donald Trump had to do that. Because up until late last week, the Trump administration was fully preparing to allow SNAP benefits to completely expire for 42 million Americans, despite having billions of dollars in congressionally appropriated contingency funds that were set aside specifically for a situation, an emergency, where SNAP benefits could not be funded. We are living through that emergency. And despite that, the Trump administration said, we cannot send congressionally appropriated money to your SNAP benefit cards. And well, multiple federal judges said that is likely unlawful, one of which went so far as ruling that Trump must use the contingency funds to pay out SNAP benefits to Americans that need it. Well, $4.6 or $5 billion, however much that contingency budget is, that'll be enough to cover about 2 to 3 weeks of SNAP benefits. But this government shutdown is expected to last potentially longer, potentially into Thanksgiving, potentially even into Christmas. And there was actually some negotiation going on Capitol Hill. There was some work between Republicans and Democrats to try to find a solution. But that work, those negotiations, completely fell apart. Why? Well, because of Donald Trump. When Donald Trump went on Truth Social and demanded that they do away with the filibuster, that Republicans get rid of the one tool that ensures that the Senate does not swing too far to the left or too far to the right too quickly, then that message ended or really undercut a lot of the negotiations that were ongoing on Capitol Hill. And so now we're in day 33 of this government shutdown. Trump voters are hurting, and Americans are as well, and they are rebuking the president. Because if you look at who is actually impacted by Affordable Care Act premiums, it's not just Democrats. In fact, it's mostly voters in red states. Florida, for example, has one of the highest Affordable Care Act rates in terms of signups in the entire country. These people in red states, many of whom voted for the president of the United States, are the first ones that are going to suffer because of the president's policies, the policies that have kept the government closed, the policies that essentially made prices higher, not lower, for far too many Americans. So this is a major development right now. I will continue to providing you updates as we get more information. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you soon with another update. So stay tuned for more. Hey folks, Aaron Parnas here. Thank you so much for watching The Parnas Perspective. Please consider subscribing to support our work as we grow this independent news media entity into something that rivals mainstream every single day. Thanks so much, and I'll see you soon.